you're gone and you were not there, I realize my heart does really care. When you were loading up your things, wanting to cry out and sing, begging and praying for you, oh, for you, 'cause I want you to stay.
Hey, we're here at Encore Chat, and this is our first remote gig. I saw Layla a couple of weeks ago, Layla and Frank, and they put on an amazing show, so I'm going to cut that up. Now I'm here to interview them during their busy schedule. We're in Manhattan right now. And give me your names, because I'm not saying that.
I'm Frank Portalatin.
And I'm Layla Daviat.
And the first question I have is how did you all meet? And it's some wonderful music, by the way, so you've already heard that. But
yes.
Anyway, how'd you all meet?
Well, when we first met, I had a friend. And he calls me up and he goes, Frank, I got this girl who works here, she's gorgeous and she can sing. And I'm like, everybody's got a friend who can sing, you know?
And who's gorgeous.
You know, and who's gorgeous, exactly. So I was like relentless. In the beginning, I was a little hesitant, and he's like, no, she can really sing. I said, okay, Frank, have her send me some, it's just you have a page or something or a recording or something like that. Please send it to me so I can check her out. So a couple of weeks pass by, I get nothing, and he calls me up. He's like, oh, Frank, really sorry, she lost your email. And I was like, come on, this girl's not serious, She goes, no, can you get the email again? So I gave her the email, and she finally sends it, and I kind of ignored the email for a little while, just for a couple of days. I said, you know what? One night I'm in bed with my girlfriend watching television. I said, you know what? Frank sent me this girl who can sing, supposedly can sing, sent me this video. Let's check it out. I turned it on. I turned off the video. It was 11 o'clock at night. I called Frank back up. I said, we need to get in touch with her.
I got it.
She sounded
Awesome.
excellent. She really sounded excellent. And that's how we started. And she came in here. She didn't even know what she was in for.
I have no idea.
We're here at Carol Music, by the way, in Manhattan. And we just started writing songs, and it just hit off. And we just went off from there. And
Awesome.
it's been excellent.
And yeah, it is an excellent
It's been
product.
excellent.
Layla, could you give me a little background? Why did you start singing? How did that happen?
Well, when I was 7 years old, I saw Annie for the first time.
Sun will come out.
Yep, sun will come out tomorrow. And I was just, it just stuck with me ever since, and that inspired me, and I never wanted to stop singing after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Frank, great guitar playing. Did you study?
Yes. I went to Mannes College of Music in New York City.
Okay.
For 4
Classical,
years.
jazz program?
Both. I did both. I was more of a jazz major and minored in the classical.
Awesome.
So graduated from there, and then after that I worked at Manny's Music in the 80s.
You got in the business.
And got into the business, and then in the 90s I was a studio musician and touring musician. So
Wow, who'd you tour with? Who were
I
some
toured
guys?
with CNC Music Factory,
Nice.
played guitar for Annie Lennox,
Nice.
toured with Maxie Priest, and played musical director for Alfonso Blackwell. And I
Awesome.
was also in the pit on Broadway and subbed for Les Mis.
Nice.
Yeah.
I actually have a
Broadway.
friend, one of our Encore chatters is a Broadway guy. Okay, now, you guys are both in this thing right now. I definitely have to ask you, how do you feel about the music business today? And what are you thinking about it? How are you thinking about approaching it? Or
Well, you have to approach it with, you got to have a niche. Now,
Okay,
because
sure.
everybody's doing the same thing.
Sure.
And I'm coming up with a whole package for her. I'm going to have an acoustic side. I'm going to have a regular band side. And I'm also going to have an EDM side.
Nice. Nice.
Where there's going to be songs, house dance songs with the DJ on stage, and her and me doing just house tracks. Staying at 128 with that kick drum going. Then we have this acoustic set where it'll be 2 acoustic guitars. Where it'll be more intimate, an unplugged type thing, and then it'll be a regular rock band for the pop stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Since my influences are from all over, because I also was the house guitar player for Def Mix Recording back in the 90s,
Okay.
in the 80s, and that's Dave Morales and Frankie Knuckles.
Okay.
Frankie Knuckles is the inventor of house music.
Nice.
He invented
Right.
house
Nice.
music.
Right.
So I was their guitar player for all the house remixes
So you're there in the
in
beginning.
the 80s. So I know how to do the dance stuff. I'm familiar with the dance stuff too, and she can knock it out like no problem.
She can
This girl
definitely
can
I
do
sang
any kind of
everything
style.
when I was
So
young.
since we do so many styles of music,
Right.
and every style I throw at her, she kills it.
Yeah, she does.
She does. She
Yeah,
kills
she
it.
does.
So I have now different packages, so everybody can. So the audience can be wider now. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
If you're into that intimate setting, I have
Sure.
that. If you're into that rock band setting, I have that. And then for the crazy guys who love to dance all night, I got that too. So that's how you got to get it in there now. You know what I mean? So the record company could be like, oh wow, this guy's. Not only is he capturing a certain audience,
Right.
he's capturing a very wide audience. So to them, it's more money. So you know how they are.
That's how they are.
That's all they're looking at, So
Layla, let me ask you a question. What advice would you give an aspiring singer? I mean, I know you're an aspiring singer yourself, but you've since I've met you, you're
Yeah,
making some leaps and bounds.
I have,
so
yes.
so
I would say just don't give up and just keep going, because I've been at this for about 7 years. You know, you have your ups and your downs, and you're gonna have a lot of downs. I'm gonna just say that first, but you're gonna have a lot of those. But those ups are so up, and it just keeps you going. And I say do whatever it is that will help keep inspiring you, because you're gonna have to have that, like, motivation, inspiration, but keep that inspiration, that fire, and just keep going. Just keep going. That's my best
awesome.
advice. Yeah.
That's awesome.
If you have dreams, you go after them.
Yeah.
And
So
you don't
stop.
stop. And especially, hey, listen, me too. I mean, I ended up having a pretty successful career, but I had a lot of downs too. And here in Manhattan, living in New York City in the music business, you're going to get kicked. You're going to get kicked out.
Yeah.
You got to learn how to pick yourself back up and go for the next day.
Hear
You know
that,
what I
kids?
mean?
All musicians are
Yeah.
canned. We're all canned.
Exactly, man.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about the internet? Do you think it's hurting, helping? I mean, it's here. The genie's out of the bottle.
Well, you have no choice, unfortunately, because that's the way, this generation listens to music and buys music. You know what I mean? I come from the era of opening up a CD or an album and finding out who played on the album and finding out more about the artist. The only thing that I think that the listener's lacking today is really getting to know the artist, because you don't get to know an artist by buying the greatest hits. You get to know an artist by buying their regular albums, and the ones that don't become hits are the ones that that's how you find out who the true artist is about. You know what I mean? There's songs, just because they're not radio friendly, but they're great songs, you're really finding out how he writes and what he's writing about.
Right.
And you find out who the art. Today, it's very hard to find out who, you can, but it's not so easy. You just download that one song. You don't allow, albums were very, very precious to me as I was
And
growing
personal.
up.
Yes.
And personal. Not one song.
Right.
You know what I mean? And now the kids today, you know what I mean, they download that one song that becomes the hit, and never really get to know the artist, because how many albums are really bought. You know what I mean? It's more about downloading the hits.
Yeah.
So the social media is good too, because it does reach out a larger audience, because the internet is connected to the world. But it does help. It does help in a way. It's just different, and we have to go with it. We have no choice, because this is the only way.
The
to
genie's
handle
out
it.
of the bottle.
That's today. Social media.
I have one last question. Since this is a show and it's pretty much geared towards studying and music studying and the working musician, how do you both feel about studying?
Studying music
Yes,
itself.
yeah.
I think it's very important. I mean, I'm somebody that I studied a little. I went to performing arts high school. I took a little bit of music theory, and I was in the chorus. I wish I had studied more, because I think it's very helpful, especially when coming up with different ways you could sing things, or different notes you could use within a song.
Well, I thought that masterclass that you took really helped you a lot too. You said
It did. I mean, it's good. I think for as far as voice lessons go, that they're crucial, because it's like working out. It's like keeping that muscle strong.
And it's you.
Yes.
It's not like you can replace it if
Exactly.
you break it.
So it's like, I would say go to voice classes, especially, some people were born with it. I believe you're born with natural talent.
I agree.
You can study outside of that, but you should always, practice your craft. Always study. It's only going to help you. It's very beneficial.
And I think with you working with Frank, it's amazing, because if you can work with the older guys, I was always told, be the worst guy in the band, and then right there you're gonna grow exponentially. So working with a guy who's this talented and this knowledgeable is always gonna make it.
Like I say, I
It's
can't
huge.
do it.
I think it's a
without
great
him.
dynamic duo.
and I
Great
can't do it
dynamic.
without her. I
Great
can't do it
dynamic
without
duo.
her. I tell you.
Frank, how do you feel about study? You went to school for music. So.
It was well, the school that I went to, Manus College of Music, is more towards, they favored more the classical people than the jazz people.
Sure.
You know what I mean? The new school, like there are schools now, like MIT, the new school, University of Texas. Berkeley, it is a great school. I just don't feel that you don't get enough attention there. Okay. I didn't go to Berkeley because I was accepted amongst 800 other guitar majors. Think about that.
Yeah.
800 other guitar. How much attention am I really going to
Not
get?
too much.
Not
Unless
too
there are
much.
800 teachers.
You know what I mean? Exactly. So Berkeley is a great school, but I just don't feel that you can get lost in the crowd
Sure.
easily. While Manhattan School of Music and Madness College of Music, smaller classroom setting, they concentrate on you, and that's where I needed that. I needed that concentration and focus.
You think studying is a good thing?
Well, I do think studying is a very good thing. Yes, I do think because you have to learn the basic foundation and the basic theory, and you find out later on. I was just practicing my scales all the time, and start off sounding very mechanical.
Right.
And then you
sound
get to,
like you're playing
scales because and then once you get to know them so well, you end up playing
Making
music out of it, making music out of it. You know what I mean? But you want to make that music ASAP. You know what I mean? And he's like,
you don't want to take the time.
You know what I
like,
mean? Exactly.
yeah,
So sometimes it's like, why am I sounding like a robot? You know what I mean? It's like, so once I heard Larry Carlton, it was over. You know, he was my biggest, my favorite guitar
he's
player.
right there with me too.
So musical, it's unbelievable.
Guys, thanks for being on Encore Chat, and I really appreciate it, and I can't wish you more success because you have a really, really great band.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
You guys sound great, and you're talented, and I see a lot of stuff out there, and you're really, really...
And if you want to send us an email and want to know when our next show is, you can send it to LaylaHRcadia@gmail.com. Email us your information.
Click the link below, because it will be there. Just
All
click
right,
on it,
great.
we'll take you right there.
That's
Bam!
perfect.
Thank you.
And you just send us your information, and we'll let you know when we're playing next.
Thank
So,
you, Joe.
Thank
you're
you so
more than
much.
welcome. Thank you
Yes.
all. We'll see y'all later. Peace.
Bye.
Really put an effort in to learn an instrument. It's so important. Thanks again for lending an ear. Thanks for stopping in to Encore Chat. I'm Pete Schmiedhauser that owns a small little store called Schmied's Music, 831 Route 10 East in the Pine Plaza Shopping Center in Whippany, New Jersey. Thanks, guys, and stay in touch to see more videos to come.